keys. Fuck keys. Hey, you! Fuck off! You can go eat it, dead, you stupid bitch. Anyways. Okay. Yeah! I know you're there, you bastard. And you can burn in hell. But it's just a weird theory that I've been thinking about. I'm like, that's creepy as hell, but you know what? It probably makes the most sense. Whatever. That's just one thing I actually wanted to talk about in terms of just Zelda theories. Because for the most part, it seems like most Zelda theories have like a definitive answer now, because Nintendo's just like, yeah, all the fun stuff of making up theories and stuff like that. Nah, we're throwing it out the window and giving you a definitive timeline, so you won't bullshit anymore. Because for one thing, in the Zelda timeline, there was one thing that happened. Basically, there were two types of theorists in terms of the Zelda timeline. Apparently, there are people that believe that in the Zelda timeline, there was... Go to hell. And, yeah, cool. Hey, thanks, bro. I don't know why that guy attempted suicide. I think he was trying to attack me. But it failed attempt to look like, I can't take this world anymore. I need to kill myself. And so we did. So anyways, there are two types of Zelda timeline theorists. Well, not anymore, because apparently Zelda, I mean, Nintendo decided to retcon that shit. So originally there were linear timeline theorists, as well as split timeline theorists, and you're like, huh? Okay, so this is where the linear split timeline theorist actually came about. It was the 5th Zelda game in the Zelda series. And you're like, well, what the hell is the 5th Zelda game in the Zelda series? Ocarina of Time, bitches. AKA, in most people's opinion, they consider it to be the best Zelda game of all time. I like Ocarina of Time, but I'm more of a Link to a Past player more so than I am a Ocarina of Time player. But the ending itself created a lot of theories about Zelda timelines. So what ended up happening is Ocarina of Time had two separate endings. Ocarina of Time had... Let's see. I'm trying to collect my thoughts so I make sure I get the right thing. Ocarina of Time... Oh, there we go. Good. Timed it. Okay. Get it. Get it. Fuck. No! You stupid chicken! Hate the Ocho. Hate the Ocho. Ugh, fuck you, chicken. But Ocarina of Time had two endings. The first ending is, well, Link, as an adult, finishes off Ganon, and then after his journey, decides to go back home to his original time and actually warn Zelda about the fact that Ganondorf's kind of a dick, and, well, he's gonna try to take over Hyrule. And that basically, they're just like, well, how does this make a split timeline? Link left the future, and he basically, that is an alternate future that didn't happen, and by going back in time and altering what could have happened, he changed the future. He changed the goddamn future. Oh, god damn it, I hate this timing for this son of a bitch. Ugh. Goddamn Ocho. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this dungeon. Beat me up, Scotty. Anyways, so Link actually left the future. He saved the future, and you know what he could have done? He could have just, he could have stayed in the past and everything could have been, you know, all sexy-like and just, yeah, party up, woo! But no, he had to go back in time and then go fuck with the present and actually say, hey, go fuck yourself. Stupid fucking shit. So, Link decided to actually go back in time even though he saved the future and remove himself from that timeline and actually went back in time and told Zelda that, hey, Ganondorf's gonna cause shit. Go tell the king and warn him about this. And essentially, he erased the original timeline that he saved and caused a split timeline where one thing happened and another thing happened. First rule of time travel. You don't fuck with time travel. I mean, for the most part, I can understand, like, maybe doing that, but god damn it, Link. I heard a goddamn keys. I heard a goddamn keys. Now, like I was saying before, it's just, this is where the split timeline theory came into play. Because most Zelda timeline theorists go back to Ocarina of Time and base their information on this fact. There are two timelines based on the fact that Link left one time, went back and won another one. Essentially, not only erasing the timeline, but creating an alternate timeline entirely. Like, why did you save that world in the first place? You could have, like, if you could travel back through time, you could go back in time, go back to Zelda, say, hey Zelda, don't do this, don't wreck this shit. And there could have been two timelines. There could have been just like one timeline, and it could have been cool, but Link had to be derp. And essentially, that's what the fuck happened. And then, because of it, we have, well, Ocarina of Time, Child Timeline led to Majora's Mask in this game. The Adult Timeline led to Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. You're welcome. Just to tell you, it's weird stuff, and basically that's happened. But apparently, according to Zelda, there's 3 split timelines, which I think is total bullshit in my opinion. Like, their theories on, okay, Link goes back in time and tells the princess. Makes sense. Link defeats Ganon in the future. Also, makes sense, and then he leaves the timeline, essentially making a new hero reborn. And we have, oh, by the way, this is a mini-boss. I'm so involved in the timeline theory right now that I don't really give a shit. Hey, buddy, how's it going? I'm talking about Zelda stuff. You gonna put up your shield so I can bring you down to my level? Yeah. There we go. But anyways, as I was saying, I was just like, what the fuck's this dude doing? He's derping around. But anyways, and then the third, essentially, final timeline is that, essentially, at one point during Link's adventure, at one point along another, Link dies. Which, in my opinion, is like, what? Oh, hey buddy, come here. Smack, 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 and smack some more. Okay. Go fly. I say go fly. Oh, I wanted to do a helm splitter, you bitch. Here we go. He's in the air. Son of a bitch. That's the problem with this mini-boss. It's just this one point where he just likes to be dead. Yeah. He does it twice and then he comes. There he is. Come here. And die. There we go. But that's just my opinion on the Zelda timeline because there are stuff that makes sense, but I don't like a 3-way split because it's just like, well, why? Why the fuck are we gonna retcon it like that? I mean, if we're gonna retcon it, just don't do that shit, and that kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, oh my god, there's an official Zelda timeline? My childhood is gone. And then when I heard about it, and I actually saw it, I'm like, well, that's bullshit. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of theories based on the Zelda timeline, because I thought, well, oh, by the way, we got a second claw shot. So now we got the double claw shot. Okay, before we go back to my Zelda bullshit, well, Zelda, this is kind of where I think the game got really lazy. The second half of the dungeons, I feel like they were rushed, and this is my theory on why it was rushed. A second claw shot? Then again, Ocarina of Time, long shot. I just think the item design could have been something more awesome. I mean, it's cool that you get double claw shots, but I'm sorry, it's just, I feel like it could have been done a lot bit better in terms of item design, and I feel like Nintendo is just trying to do the same format just so they're not gonna piss off the Zelda fans, but at the same time, for me, I like a little bit of ingenuity. I like when Zelda games bring something new to the table, and it's not the same old, oh, hey, you have to collect the plot MacGuffins and do this. Oh, hey, now you got the Master Sword. Now go collect more plot MacGuffins. I'm like, do I have to? And that's why I kind of like more of the 2D titles more, because they don't follow the same format about the... okay, hey, let's go find the plot MacGuffins. And now you have to go about it. It's basically, it has one set plot. It doesn't try to curveball your ass, and it just essentially makes you go collect the certain items that you need at the same time, where it just makes it feel like it's a more immersive adventure instead of just the... Man, I don't know. I don't like plot MacGuffins. I don't. God damn it. You know what? Let me get down. Let me get closer to this one. There we go. But that guy just jumped off to his death. Okay. Alright then, cool. Not gonna argue with that one. But, I just feel like Zelda, I feel like it needs to have something new, bring something new to the table. I mean, I like this game because of Midna. Midna is the highlight of the game. She starts off as a bitch, then she gains character development, and there are a lot of characters in this game that get really good character development. For example, Colin, if I did more shit with him, for the most part, if he had more plot in the game, not more plot in the game, if I showed off more plot for him in the game, he's actually a really cool character. By the way, that's a compass. I don't feel like getting it. And I loved his character development. He was a wuss, and he didn't know how to defend himself. And then he wanted to be brave. He wanted to be like Link, somebody he looked up to and believed in. And that's what I like about that. I feel like halfway through the game, they just kind of said, nah, fuck the character development. Let's kind of cut that out and just focus a little bit more on, more plot MacGuffin related material. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how the hell did I not sever that that branch on him, or vine? I don't give a fuck what it is. But, And Midna, she, like I said, she's the highlight of the game. Starts out like a bitch, then slowly she starts to grow, starts to become more friendly and just rely on us and see us as more as a friend. And I really like that. And they don't really have that in other Zelda games. And it's something unique to this Zelda game and this Zelda game alone. Most of the other, like, helpers in Zelda games are pretty much the exact same ones. They are basically mindless zombies that their only purpose is to tell you from how to get from point A to point B, and that's it. And in my opinion, that's really sad. Like, for example, the biggest three offenders in my opinion, like, I originally had the owl from A Link to the Past on my list, but that's been dropped to Eslo as number 3, Navi as 2, and you're like, what? Listen to me, and you'll understand why. How are those stupid... There they are.